And welcome, BC WrestlePod nerds, to a very, very epic edition. I gotta turn myself down in my monitor because I keep hearing myself, and that throws me off. It's like I'm not used to it.
Turn me down on my monitor.
It's bad. I haven't done it in a while. Usually, I have Twitch up on my side peripheral, and usually it's not loud enough for me to hear. Today, for some reason, it is, so I have to completely mute myself out of Twitch. Frustrating. Anyway, so say, welcome, BC Podcast nerds. I, of course, am the Kilt Man, the Pleat Father, the voice villain, if you will. Currently joined by my buddy Adolfo, the nerdy Puerto Rican. Unfortunately, the professor's not here yet. I hope he shows up. But welcome to today's Herstory made, a WWE Evolution PLE review.
Waited long enough, people.
This was such a great thing. We will get deeper and deeper into it. But first, let's talk about something important, which is the socials, if you please. Remember to follow us on Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, as well as Kick. Merch is on the BC Pod Shop.fourthwall.com, and then also join us on Patreon as well. Am I missing anything for social?
Nope. You got it.
All right,
got it, baby.
I'm good at this. It's like I used to do a talk show at one point. 3 actually, but that's a different story for another time that we can talk about off air. So it's this event had nothing, barely anything. There was mentions of it for like maybe 2-3 weeks, at least since Liv Morgan went out injured, and that's what threw a lot of chaos into the wrench. Chaos wrench into the mix, which we saw a few wrenches during the show, which was kind of cool. But it has turned out not just for the better, but it has turned out that these women of the WWE can outperform their male counterparts, like we have been saying time and time and time again. For those of us who joined last night when Mikey and I were watching together before he went on his vacation, thank you. Yeah. I had a great time. He had a great time. It was funny because we try to sync up our show. I tried to sync up my sound so that it wouldn't be like I get 30 seconds ahead of him, and then it's like I would react to something, and then he's like, "What?" Oh, I'm like, crap. It went great for a little bit, and then all of a sudden I think I glitched and I went ahead. And so by the end of it, we were back to like 15 to 30 seconds ahead of each other.
But yeah, no, like we were talking before the show, admittedly, I did not watch the show. I am the international correspondent. However, I do pay attention to, the going-ons and whatnot. And the lead up to Evolution, I felt, was almost getting undercut. I felt like TKO was undercutting, switching the date from this to this. I felt like the medias at large started to undercut it, so to hear that it went off well, that I'm very, very happy. And I think we should go into the first match.
I agree. Let's definitely hit this first match, which was a triple threat match between Bayley. Sorry, my brain starts to Becky the Man Lynch and Lyra Valkyria. This match set the tone for the night. It was for the Intercontinental Champion. Becky retained the title at the end of it all, but there was so much going on. There was a lot of action. Bayley's hair was a little bit more curly than in this picture, which is actually I liked it. It had the same purple intensity. But everything there really wasn't miscues in this one, at least none that I could see. Hopefully Professor shows up and corrects me, because that's usually what happens. But it was really good. It was again, as I said, okay, I'm a big Letterkenny and Shorzy fan. So I have to steal their quote, which this set the fucking tone.
Nice.
It did. It set up the night so well. The only issues I have really with this entire production was order of events, but I understand why they did it the way they did it and how they were doing it, and it worked out great.
Right.
This was. Go ahead.
Can I? So again, from a person that didn't get to watch the PLE, we know that there was buildup with Becky and Lyra. Was the addition of Bayley? Did it feel like it was Bayley was forced in there, or was there a good gradual introduction where Bayley came in and said, "Well, wait a minute, I haven't had my shot yet. Give it to me."
Yes and no. So this started at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Because we believe that Becky's the one who took Bayley out at WrestleMania. Yep. So that's why she came back at WrestleMania to tag up with Lyra Valkyria, who I think they both had the tag championships, because Bayley and Lyra had the tag champions at the time.
Yep.
And then they lost, they retained it. Then the next night the next night they lost it to Liv and Raquel, which made no sense to me, but we're not discussing that. So that's where that started. And then it was kind of forgotten about for a little bit. And then Lyra lost the title to Becky, and then there was that little bit of feud, and Bayley came in. It was kind of forgotten about again. And then when I want to say the last week or two building up to this, that's when Bayley was thrown back into the mix. And it's like, it's a little weak on your storytelling.
Okay.
But this actually was, the match was done well. The ladies, I will always say that the ladies will always outperform the men. I have yet to see them underperform.
Right.
And this match was no exception. It was no exception. It was phenomenal, and I loved I loved everything. I wanted more.
So now let me ask one last question. This was going to be the nerdy Puerto Rican chaos question, but since the professor is afraid and isn't showing up, I'm just gonna toss it up to you, Kilt, and then you can go with it. And before I ask this question, just because this is a hot question, right? I just want to make it clear, I love Becky Lynch. I love Becky the Man Lynch. I think that she is a fantastic wrestler. I think that the three of these wrestlers, I've seen a lot of Bayley. I've seen a lot of Becky. From what I've seen of Lyra, they're great workers and they work well with other people, right? However, just because you know that this is the discourse on the internets, Becky Hogan?
No, is where I'm going to start with.
Okay.
There's a few things. Okay, so Lyra has a lot of work to do when it comes to the promo storytelling of it, because she's such a babyface. When she's trying to do almost something heelish, she trips into it. She's not there yet. But Becky, I don't think this is. I don't think she's having a Hogan situation with this. And I'll talk about this again because there's another personality within this PLE that I thought was also at first Hoganing this their status.
Yep. I think I know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah, and but now I see a little bit different. I've seen a little bit more change with Becky. I don't think that's the case. I honestly don't think that's really honestly it. Especially, she didn't have to come back. She was probably asked to come back. She probably chose to come back, and this is how the storyline went. Now, if it looked like there was a little bit more arrogance, and a little bit more of the traditional Hoganing that we've seen from Becky, well, not from Becky like she used to, but like what I'm saying is, if Becky was acting a little bit more Hoganish, more arrogant, more self-centered in her promos or whatever, I would definitely think that she was hogging some spotlight. It's not that she's taking a true mentor role per se, but she is definitely trying to show by example, and she's trying to more or less champion by example, I would say. But yeah, I don't like the Becky Hogan accusations. I don't think that's accurate. I think she's being thrusted into a position where she has to be a kind of an ego, because I don't like just having face and heel. I like having this ego mentality in the middle, where you're not a baby face, where you're not a heel, you're not really trying to be an ass, but you're just there being an ass.
Right.
The best way I can describe it is The Miz.
Right. You're doing your job, and you're doing it damn well.
Yeah, it's like Miz and Carmelo. They're egos.
I get you. Yep.
And so that's where I'm at with that. She's not Hoganing. She's totally just taking what she was given, doing her best to be as accurate to the script, so to speak.
Sure.
And kicking on. Does Lyra have some promos that she needs to work on? Definitely. Because there's times where she came out to do a promo and she literally looked like she was either about to cry or she just didn't really want to cut this promo because she was uncomfortable with it. Which I don't want these talent to be uncomfortable with what they're doing, because I want them to be be in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I'm at.
Cool. All right. So let's move on to our next match. Again, Becky Lynch retains. Hello, computer. There we go. Next, Jace Jane, Jordan Grace.
I'm not a big NXT person. Let me clarify that. I did not have a dog really in this fight. When I chose my whatchamacallit, when I chose my pick for this, it was basically off of what I saw from the Women's Rumble when Jordan Grace entered, and then that was basically it. I had nothing until like a week or so ago when Jordan did that little skit with Brooke, I think it is. I forget the woman's name, but we'll get to her in a second. And then there was an iconic moment that just it dug me in. And then when this match came across, I'm like, this is who I'm for now. And this match, it was a lot of cool moments, a lot of good spots. And then, it was we're sitting there having a conversation, Mikey and I. We're like, oh man, I hope I hope we singing. I keep wanting to say her name's Brooke. Going in to help
Blake
on
Monroe.
this. Blake Monroe. Thank you. My brain was.
Mm-hmm.
It was a B.
Blake Monroe.
Blake Monroe.
Blake Monroe.
Monroe.
That's a toss back to when Adam Copeland went to AEW. So Blake Monroe. Anyway, go ahead.
So Blake was out on the outside, helping out with basically do distraction. And then there's a very pivotal moment because Mikey and I were like, "Oh, I hope this doesn't happen." And then roll the footage, please.
You got it.
Hold on, my muscle muffin.
Betrayal most foul.
Our muscle muffin.
Like a Shakespearean tragedy.
It was. It left me speechless because, again, I'm not a big NXT guy. I didn't have anything in this fight, and then I started getting attached to Jordan, Jace, and Brooklyn, and I was getting into it, and I was kind of absorbed into it because this is what this PLE has done with me. It's really got me really better ingrained within the women's side of the wrestling because, like, hey, I can see them, and I'm like, okay, cool. I like these people. I see these people doing this and like that. But this, literally, I was speechless for like 45 seconds, and this was part of the part where I was ahead of Mikey. Right. So if you go back and watch the VOD, I think the VOD's up. I have no idea. If you go back and watch, you'll see me react first, and Mikey's like. He's really like, what are you reacting to? Oh, that's what you're reacting. It's like, oh my god, they could not have done this in this match any better. And nice. I literally, it's a situation of I did not see that coming. I thought this was going to be I thought this was going to be like it might have been a DQ involved. There might have been, some other shenanigans involved. Something like that might have been a dirty win somewhere, right, on either side. But I didn't expect a betrayal. Right. Okay. Yeah. That was great writing. I thought that was great. It was almost as good and almost as hidden as the John Cena heel turn, because no one saw that coming. Right. But this was. I literally, I'm gushing so much about this PLE because it literally is become my favorite. It has become the best storytelling device WWE has had this entire year.
So now let me ask you this question. Just because the last time I sat in, and we talked about NXT because this was for the Women's NXT Championship. Mm-hmm. We talked about Jordynne Grace, and having Jordynne Grace in the picture. If Jordynne Grace would have won the belt, how she would put some gravitas on this belt. Now that Jordynne Grace has lost, and we know, if you watch wrestling, you know that now she's going to start a rivalry with Blake Monroe. Mm-hmm. Does this diminish Jordynne Grace and her vying for the NXT Championship in your eyes, or does this make her like a hungrier, more dangerous individual?
More dangerous, because it went from her having a connection with someone that she wanted to work with and wanted to support and basically be a team, to back to being the solo. I'm here by myself. I'm going to start swinging on everybody. So I think this is going to be a really big heel turn for Jordynne. And I think she's going to become more dangerous in coming after Brooklyn, coming after that title. She's going to want, obviously she's going to want her licks for the betrayal. And then she's going to go after the title so that way she can get it back and get that around her waist. Because again, in my mind, that's who I wanted. That's who I thought was going to win this.
Yep.
And then this happened, and I'm like, all right, this is going to be interesting. I'm probably going to have to start picking up NXT, and I'm probably going to have to start picking up extra shifts in the hot seat for all of our reviews. If this is going to get. And then let me have a side note for a moment.
Sure.
The reason I'm here is because I was starting to see, like, this was like right before, I want to say, Survivor Series last year. Mm-hmm. I was seeing more and more PLE stuff, more wrestling stuff, and I was sending it over to Mikey because I know Mikey was into it. And so I'm like, all right, dude, this is starting to get me back into wrestling, because I was like a casual fan way back, like in the Attitude Era up until, I don't know, like maybe 5-10 years before COVID. And then I lost track of a lot of it. And then like I saw bits and pieces, then the Bloodline arc, and I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of boring, whatever. And then we had all the Survivor Series stuff, the WrestleMania stuff, all that building up. And I'm like, and then he's like, hey, I need someone to sit on a PLE with me. Would you be willing to jump in on this watch along? I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I don't mind. You're my friend. I've known you for, at the time, now it's like 4.5, almost 5 years now. I've known Mikey. Funny enough, we met through D&D. And so I'm like, all right, cool. I'll hop on. I'll hang out. And then I just got back into it. I just started clawing my way in, because I paid $25 for a year of Peacock, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna watch on Peacock Release Wrestling, so might as well. And so I've been nudging, just literally bits and pieces. And now I'm here on Dual Dynasty every week, doing doing the SmackDown and Raw reviews, as well as all of our PLE reviews for our PLEs. And it's like, I think I might go over to NXT, and then I do actually want to get on with CML with you in the future, because everything I keep seeing, because I saw bits and pieces of the Mr. Iguana and the Santa Marina flight. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
it's I like wrestling in general, but like I love it when there's like this little comedy bits just here and there having fun.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I might make my rounds.
All right. Cool. So JC Jane retains, and that brings us to our next match. This is a full match, man. Holy hot dogs. We got a lot of people in this match.
There's so much going on in this match. It is a it's a 4-way tag team gauntlet match, I think it was. It's like tags everywhere, this, that, and the other, and like we saw. I'm gonna start piece by piece, because we have the Kabuki Warriors, and Mike and I were laughing about them at the entrances, because I think they came out first. And they're doing their thing. They come up and they're just dancing along to everyone's music.
Yeah,
they're like chiming and grooving, and like, look at, they just they cut back. They're like, yeah, let's go. I'm like, I love their energy.
Really quick, I am so happy to see Asuka back. So happy.
I am as well. There was a moment I should have sent you that I called it, I was like, Asuka, more like ask, because she's like, and
that too.
And then it was a because you're probably going to ask me about this a little bit later, because there was a very rocky put together for one of these teams, specifically Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair.
Yep.
And it culminated to this, where it's like big sister, taking little sister out of the way to protect it from it was a spear, if I remember right.
Wow.
And it was Zarya, I believe, was spearing Sol Rica. Or well, it was trying to spear Alexa Bliss. Charlotte yanked her out of the way, and Zarya speared Sol Rica. Sol Ruca?
Yep, Sol Ruca. Yep.
Sol Ruca. First, I don't know why I said Rika. I'm tired. It's been a long day.
It's Norwegian. I know. It's okay.
And it was this almost sibling love rivalry thing going on between the two of them and during the build up to Evolution between Charlotte and Alexa, and I loved it. And I thought it actually mellowed Charlotte out.
Cool.
Charlotte became less Hogan.
Yes, because that was the other one.
This was the one that I was thinking was going to be more Hogan, because she has the Flair name.
Yep.
She's the queen.
Yep.
And it's like I was seeing it. I was like, okay, cool. This is what it is. She's going to be Hogan it. She's going to use her name to kind of pull in and blah, 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 blah. And then I'm seeing she's not always winning. She's not like, dominating. She's kind of somewhere in there. She's actually there. And I'm like, okay, I'm seeing it. And then I'm seeing her character like kind of develop. She's being less of a fuck off you peasant, more of okay, I'll allow you here for now.
Right.
And then kind of that moment of saving Alexa, it's like, and then you just see the little smiles that as they tease each other and getting each other's way. And it's just like, okay, I see what you're doing and I love it. And I'm thinking less that you're actually trying to Hogan your way back into this scene, and you're actually doing good, not just by your character, but by the locker room and by the story that you're trying to tell, not just with Alexa, but with everyone involved. And so this one, like I literally I can't speak any better of it. It's like there was so much going on. Sure. At one point, bodies were just flying all over, and that's like, yes, there's 8 bodies, but like from the bell, it was a straight punch from. I think it was Roxanne went straight after. I think it was Ahsoka. Hey, when your brain's trying to like Asuka,
yep, you're good.
It's like the Rolodex is going, but
got you.
Yep, the hamster can't keep up.
Yep.
But it was like straight off the bat. It was Asuka who did the first attack, because as soon as the bell went, she went wham and just smacked Roxanne down. And now I made mention of Raquel's outfit looked very Mass Effect like, and I absolutely loved every minute of it. Like I loved everything that everyone was wearing.
Yeah.
And then trying to remember. Hold on, I know, because I think I went with Charlotte and Alexa, and if I'm remembering correctly, it was Raquel and Roxanne that retained.
Yes. Raquel and Roxanne do retain the belts, beating Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Sol Ruka, and Zarya, and the Kabuki Warriors in Asuka and Karai Sane.
There it is.
So, yep.
Yeah.
It
was a great match. I don't know how to improve that match.
Sure.
Like there's no way to improve it outside of better storytelling leading up to it, but like everything was great. Like I loved it.
So now let me ask you this, because previously, like last year and whatnot, one thing that we were disgruntled about regarding WWE was it felt like the women's tag team championship was not. It had no gravitas. It felt like it was just like being tossed back and forth. Does the women's tag team championship feel valid now? Feel like a real thing that people are actually fighting for?
Yes. And the reason I say yes is because there's only one. And so that means both shows have to fight for that belt.
Nice.
So instead of having 6 teams and 4 teams or 5 teams or whatever Raw has, going after this belt, you have all the teams that are on both shows going after this one thing and trying and getting to that focal point. And I think this is actually making it more competitive and more what's another word? Because it makes it more valued to me, because I don't see Raw having a tag team championship and SmackDown having a tag team championship. I see there's one women's tag team championship, and it's on this show or it's on that show, and then both sides have to kind of go after it, and it culminates into either a PLE match or like a crossover or whatever. And I think that brings value to the title because of limited availability.
Cool. Love it. So Raquel and Roxanne retain the Women's Tag Team Championship belt. And this brings us to our next match, where we see Tiffany Stratton and facing off against Trish Stratus. Was it Tiffy time?
It was definitely Tiffy time. I think there was a wardrobe malfunction at the end.
Okay.
Which kept me distracted for a long time. Tiffany always looks amazing. Oh my god. Trish definitely got her flowers moment after everything was over. Mm-hmm. It was an interesting back and forth. I think there was a little bit heavier hits than there were supposed to be at one point, because I think one of them had a nosebleed or something. Okay. And it wasn't like, something that looked like, oh yeah, you're gonna cut himself to make it look worse, but it's more of, oh crap, this actually happened by accident.
Right. Yep.
Whoops.
Yeah. Someone worked a little too
someone got a receipt in, and it's like, okay. But I honestly, this is the I'm 1-6 for this entire PLA. Let me just start there.
Womp womp womp.
And when he pulled up when Mikey sent us the the results so far of our predictions, I'm 11-11.
That's not bad.
I'm at the bottom of our bracket, but I'm even.
You're 500.
Okay, this is the only match I actually called correctly, and I was like, yeah, because it made the most sense. There's it doesn't seem that we're gonna have a more Trish Stratus. If anything, if we do have more Trish Stratus, I think it should be, because I say this about Stephanie McMahon a lot, that if she were to come back, it's not in a wrestling role, it should be in the manager role. Like, sure. Stephanie should be the female Paul Heyman.
Okay, I see that.
Trish Stratus should do like the opposite,
right?
Or just be a JBL. I don't know.
Right.
But have a manager status and kind of be out there cutting promos, wheeling and dealing, doing a manager situation if that's what Trish wants to do, and come back for more.
Right.
Maybe wrestle a little bit if she wants. But honestly, I don't see Trish Stratus continuing on further past this PLE, at least majorly. But to me, this was a no-brainer. It was going to be Tiffy time all the time.
Nice. Real quick, that actually brings me to my question for you, and that is, do legends belong in title pictures like this?
Yes and no. Okay, I will use Goldberg as an example. No.
Right.
Goldberg's a heavy no. And the reason why is he was barely able to get through that match. Gunther did a lot of the heavy lifting. Mm-hmm. So, Goldberg, no.
Right.
Go be your legend. Do your autographs. Maybe come out, say, hey, what's up every so often. Sit in the crowd. Or, sit at the commentary desk. Or do some interviews or whatever. Trish has the athletic ability, I believe, to be able to do 3 to 4, maybe 5 years tops, as long as she stays healthy, she stays not well, I almost said rigid, but if she stays in shape enough,
Yeah, right. Yeah,
maybe.
Right.
And this is why I say yes and no, because it's like it depends on the legend.
Okay.
And it also depends on their attitude. Like if you were to tell me, oh, Bubba Ray is going to come back. No, thanks. We're good.
Right.
Because I have my feelings about Bubba Ray because I've seen he's starting to become Hoganish.
Right.
We know we're not going to get Undertaker back because he's happy being himself. Being Mark.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's happy doing that. Obviously we're not going to get a handful of other legends, but honestly, it doesn't detract from the legend themselves, and it doesn't really, it doesn't tarnish the title, but it doesn't make it more desirable, in my opinion. Like, I don't want to see a legend come back and take a title, and it just because they're a legend. If a legend wants to return and build up to a title and do a title run, like, for example, Cena came back. He's doing this year-long run. He's trying to get to the end of the year. He has his title, and he's going to go home with it, supposedly. So it's a situation of, okay, cool. This is nice, and I like this. Then he's going to retire, and then boom, no more. And then he's going to retire into his legendary status, and he's going to move on,
right?
And I'm talking myself in circles because again, with legends, it's hit or miss. It's whomever's healthy enough if they want to do a year to two run, because I don't want them to be like a 2-show gimmick.
Yeah, right.
Because not only does that tarnish the title itself, but it also tarnishes the wrestler. It's like, you brought them in just for this small pop or whatever pop they got, and then you pedestaled them, gave them a title, let them play wrestler for a little bit, and then you took it away from them and just kind of put them back on their podium over here to the side that you dust every so often.
Right.
That's kind of where I stand.
Dig it. Yep. All right, I get that. So Tiffany Stratton does retain. Yes, indeed, it was Tiffy time. I just love saying that. I'm sorry.
It's such a great. It is a great.
Such a good hook. Our next match was a no holds barred match where we saw Jade Cargill versus Naomi. What do we think? What do we think about this match there, Kilt?
There was not enough hair pulling in this, I think.
Okay.
It was still a great match. I will not lie. This was an amazing match. Hold on 1 second. I'm getting hot. I need to turn the fan on. Give me 2 seconds.
I got you. Oh, wait. You know what? If you're doing that, hang on. Really?
I literally all I have to do is touch a switch right here. It's right here. Like all I had to do was turn around. You did that. Oh, that was great. I'm like, before you even had that, you're like, hold on, wait. What? What do you mean wait? I'm already done. And then you do that. I'm like, okay, that works. That's great. Oh, that actually. Okay. I'm having an even better night.
You're welcome. All right,
I literally was coming into this tired. Okay, so Jade wins this, which sets up something for later in the evening. But this was, they could have gone harder, and I was still. They could have gone harder. They could have gone harder. They could have gone a little bit more stereotypical. Okay. And I know it's a pale white man saying two black women can become super black and go after each other. That's very, very, very bad for a white guy to say.
Sure, but let me quantify this whole thing with WWE's strong PG violence rule.
Mm-hmm.
Was a good violent story told, and could they again with that WWE PG violence rule, could they push that envelope? Did they push that envelope?
They pushed the envelope pretty well with this. They could have
Okay.
done a little bit more. And the reason why they kind of came. Okay, I will pull a match. The Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens match. That no holds barred, ladders, tables, everything match, which was hilarious because I remember we watched it, and then like literally when we were doing the review, the day of, I ran to my storage unit and I grabbed this little tiny step ladder that I have just so I could, because that was a running joke within that match. Was just Kevin Owens got this step ladder that was half his size. I went and I got one. It was like maybe 2-3 rungs. I'm like, I got my ladder. Here's the VIP from last night. And that was a good joke then. But like, so that actually went that level of violence is basically where they kind of draw the line in WWE from my perspective. This was like 2 degrees under that.
Okay.
And I felt they could have matched it and it would have been perfect, but I understand why they held back.
Okay.
And the reason why they held back, we'll discuss later on.
Sure. Right. Fair. Yep.
But this was so well done. I loved because you have to remember this had a special guest referee.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair was the special guest referee.
That's right.
And it's 2 of her friends.
Uh-huh.
Or well, one was a friend. Like the whole situation. This, I don't think they could have done this any better outside of made it more violent. And then, and as I said, I understand why they didn't.
Sure.
I'm loving because I had my girl Naomi for this. Because she's from my hometown. I'm from Orlando.
Okay. Yeah.
And like I double checked, like I looked at her bio, and I'm like, oh, she went to this high school, which is on the opposite side of the county from me. Yeah. I went to this one. We were in the same area at the same time, and I'm like, that's cool for me. That's like a hometown, that's my hometown lady. Yeah. I'm going for her. Jade won.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's kind of cool. I still love it. It's still great. You got Queen of the Ring versus Caution Danger, Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think this was like literally, as I said, there's no way I can make this match any better outside of more violence. There's
so let me toss this at you. This is going to be my chaos question, and you're going to have 1 minute on this. Mm-hmm. So are you ready?
Proceed.
Are WWE fans ready to see women bleed? And go.
No.
Okay.
I do not believe they are, because I don't think that they are ready to see women go to that level of extreme. It's still that patriarchal mindset of protect the women, protect the women, protect the women, instead of let the women go perform better than they have at this PLE, because again, this beats their male counterparts, and I have a feeling there was going to be a conversation either today or this week saying, oh, y'all outperformed the men. Y'all can't do that again.
Right.
I don't think the WWE universe is ready for women to outperform the men in that degree yet.
Okay. All right. Cool. And you were at 50 seconds. Look at that.
I'm good sometimes. And because there's a joke that I love. It's a theater joke, it's a theater reference. And I hope I'm going to assume that you know this, but Chekhov's gun.
Yes.
In wrestling, there is a similar law, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I call it Chekhov's table.
Yes. Yep.
If a table gets brought out, it's getting broken.
It's gonna get broken. That's right.
And Jade set up a great table, and she was almost had Naomi through it, but Naomi dropped her through the table first. And I'm like, okay, this is great. The only thing I didn't like about the table was it has Slim Jim on it. We don't need fucking advertising. We don't need advertisement. Okay.
Yeah,
Off my soapbox.
Off your there we go. But Jade Cargill does defeat Naomi. Sad for Naomi. We'll find out. So this moves us into our battle royale. Unfortunately, we don't have any picks because I think all the entrants were a surprise. But I got the rundown right here for you. So here we go. The battle royale for a world title shot at Clash in Paris. We had Nikki Bella, Stephanie Baker, Ivy Nile, Nia Jax, Natalia, Maxine Dupree, Zelina Vega, Julia, Kalani Jordan, Jada Parker, Lola Vice, Lash Legend, Izzy Dame, and Tatum Paxley. That is a stacked ring.
Oh, it was.
That is a stacked ring.
It was a lot of power in that ring, and you said two things wrong. It's Maxine Dupree.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Chelsea Green.
And Chelsea Green, right? Exactly.
I love along with her secret Hervis. I love that bit. That is my favorite Goofy bit, and I wish that's the only reason why I want her to have the American title back. Is so that way she can keep that up. It's such a good bit, and I love it. Oh my god! I went into this not knowing who was going to win. I couldn't choose because I didn't know who all was going to be in it. Mm-hmm. I think I chose Chelsea Green because again I wanted Chelsea to get a shot at the American title or at least something else, so that way she could keep the secret Hervis bit going, and that's what I wanted, and I loved it. And again, this is where I lost. But the most important thing is sorry, distraction, moderation things. It was literally like it was an amazing match. There was so much going on. There were so many amazing little moments. We had two bouncies, which I should have gotten a picture of one and sent it to you, but unfortunately I did not. But we did have an amazing moment at the end when Stephanie Vaquer won. La Primera won. She's going to Clash in Paris for that world shot. And Stephanie, the queen herself, McMahon, holding off La Primera and Stephanie Vaquer. And then Stephanie Vaquer doing both a promo in Spanish and in English was saying, my English, this is going to be difficult for me because English is not my first language, but wrestling's my first. And I'm like, awesome. I love everything about this match. There was a lot of great talent coming out of the NXT for it. You had a lot of great everything. There was little bits here and there, and storytelling that just imperceptible moments. Chelsea hiding in the corner underneath Alba Fire. And it was so funny because you just see this little piece of gold just sticking out like this, and then you have Alba Fire and I forget her name. The other secret Hervis, it's a bigger lady. I'll remember it in a little bit. Right, just standing there, and it's like it's just protecting her in one of the corners, and Chelsea's just like this. I'm like at one point, I literally go to Mike. I'm like, "Hey, wait, where's Chelsea? Oh, there she is." Because someone happened to move, and I see the gold. I'm like, there.
But you know that's great because that breaks up so many times battle royales and in the history of not only WWE but every promotion out there. Battle royales just kind of like turn into just this big glob of like what am I watching? Where am I watching now? You know, when you have those types of moments, it's something that you can be like, oh, where's Chelsea? Oh, there's Chelsea, but it gives you a break. You're like, okay, I don't need to worry about you right now. I can focus on this that's going on over here, or this that's going on over here. And and that's a great way to run those battle royales.
It is. It was great moments. And then Wade Barrett on commentary. It's like, I'm gonna stand in for Booker T. When I can't do a Welsh accent. I'm sorry, but and as soon as Stephanie Vaquer does the devil's kiss, it goes bouncy, bouncy. I'm like, and I just kept yelling it out every time, bouncy, bouncy.
Oh, that's fantastic. You need to clip that. You need to clip that.
I will go back in the VOD and
I will. I'll put it together like I did with the video earlier. So, our winner and holding a title shot at Clash in Paris is Stephanie Vaquer. And this brings us to our main event of the night. Rhea Ripley, Io Sky for the big gold, the Women's World Championship. Take us through it, Kilt. Take us through it.
Oh my God. I don't know what I can do to really emphasize anything else about this match, because holy crap, this was amazing. You have elements of Io Sky's Japan style of wrestling, like a lot more moments than usual, blending into Rhea's style of wrestling, and them like working around each other, them doing some high stuff, doing some amazing drops. It looked like they were having a blast, just going to town. It technically became an a no holds barred match at one point, because Rhea dodged, I think it was a kick. It was either a torpedo kick or a torpedo kick, and Io knocked the ref out the ring.
Oh yeah, the ref. Yep, I did read about the ref bump. Yep.
And so that ref took an amazing bump, and then then Io and Rhea went into the crowd. They started fighting the crowd, and then they got to a very familiar scene for me, at least. Like a couple months ago, I know Damon and Drew McIntyre did a couple spots on top of production equipment boxes.
Yes.
And so they get up on one production box, and they're doing spots on that, and then Rhea gets knocked down to the floor. Io gets up, almost like you can see it's like almost a full story.
Yeah.
Up in the air, and just does this crossbody onto Rhea onto the floor from like 15, 20 feet in the air.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh my God, please be okay. And then they fight, and they go back, and Rhea gets Io pinned in the ring, and there's nothing there. And she's like, what's going on? What's happening? And all of a sudden, bam, Naomi's music hits. And she's coming down with I forget her last name, but it's the other female ref, Daphne, the one who's always reporting for Cutie.
Yep.
I love that. I love her TikToks when she does it. It's hilarious. It's so well done. Anyway, and so Naomi cashes in.
Yep.
The first thing she does as soon as the bell rings, smacks Io in the face with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Does some work on Rhea, knocks Rhea completely out of the ring, pins Io 1, 2, 3, walks away with the championship. And there
it is.
That's my hometown girl. Yeah. Oh,
there it is. And that's a beautiful picture you found, because that's just like, if that doesn't speak Money in the Bank cash in, I don't know what does. That was fantastic.
It was amazing. And one of the things we'll have a conversation about Money in the Bank stuff, because unfortunately Seth Rollins got hurt the night prior at Saturday Night Main Event in his match against LA Knight, which was unfortunate, because if he hadn't, then the whole Goldberg match would have been a whole lot different.
Right.
But it was excuse me, a little bit of something in my throat. It's very phlegmy here.
Yes.
On top of being humid and gross.
And gross. That's right.
Well, I live in what I will always affectionately call Satan's Swamp Ass.
Yes.
It's like, oh, he said towards the Everglades. No, that's Central Florida. Central Florida is so landlocked. We get breezes from both sides of the coast, and it just makes us gross. It's like there's I'll go into this later. Later. Moving forward.
Moving forward.
It was like, because that would have been a great opportunity for him as well, and which concerns me, because if he's out on an injury, then I don't know how he's going to be able to cash in, and it's going to be a big situation. Which, if he's out for the remainder of the year or for however long, they're going to have to redo the men's Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
That
would be interesting.
That's going to be to me. I think that'd be cool. That'd be a cool idea. Just have it again. But this was as we said, it was a great opportunity for a cash in, especially for this title. After that great of a match, all of us were wrong. So I think we knew we knew Naomi was going to cash in at Evolution. We just, even though she has a match, we just didn't know when.
Right. Yes. Right. Right. Yep.
And it's like, okay, is she going to cash in on Tiffy, or is she going to cash in on whoever wins between Io and Rhea? And I'm glad she did it at the end, and that was it. It was
that big gold.
She went the big gold and be the big ball. I love this. This was literally, I will go hoarse just praising these women and this amazing night. You had so many female legends there. Vicky Guerrero was there.
Mm-hmm.
You had so many amazing legends, and I just during the pre-show, it was funny. Not really funny. It was really cool because Big E shouted out so many of the female production staff, all the people. Oh, one name stood out to me the most because I remember it from the infamous interview with Jay Uso and Cody Rhodes, where they showed up to the presser just hammered.
Oh yeah, just hammered.
And they're talking about Kasama, who's been there when both their daddies were wrestling, and Eddie and Big E shouted out Kasama. I'm like, oh, I know that name. And it was there this night. Like, there needs to be more. I need more Evolution, because the guys are on. The guys get the better stories and the better build up for their stories every single time, and the women have to make do, and they knock it so far out the water, and it frustrates me because these women, they're amazing athletes, they're amazing actors. They take this puddle of mud and turn it into a freaking ivory sculpture of excellence.
Yep.
And I have to go because I'm getting a phone call from my son.
Okay, so then you know what? Okay, so we will okay, so this is what we'll do. So we are so that was Evolution, WWE Evolution. So yeah, just to go off of what Kilt was saying, women's wrestling is so important. It really, it shouldn't be. I mean, having a PLE or pay-per-view or whatnot dedicated to women should happen, but it should happen more often. And and the the ratio of men's to women matches really should be a lot more even. As Kilt was saying, the women killed it in this PLE. The women always kill it. They work so much harder, and 9 times out of 10, they're just so much more entertaining than the men's talent. That it should just be standard. It should be standard. So, but thank you for joining us here for our WWE Evolution PLE review. Really quick, please, if you like what you watched and you like the wrestling, and you like what you watch and you like the wrestling, please follow us on the social medias: Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, which you're probably already following us on Twitch. BC WrestlePod, shop.fourthwall.com. That is where you can get your BC WrestlePod merch. We have a lot of great merch right now. We have 3 special edition merches going on. We have Hot Boy Summer. We have our Grapple with Pride, which portion of the proceeds for that goes to LGBTQ plus trans and supports transgender people. And we have the People vs. La Migra collection, where the proceeds of that goes to a Southern California program that helps immigrant children that are affected by everything that's going on right now with that. So thank you for joining us. I am available for the Nerdy Puerto Rican. Kiltman is taking a very important phone call, so I'm just gonna. Oh, there he is.
Sorry. Okay, my son called me.
No, you're fine.
Whenever
You're
I don't have him physically, so it's like anytime he calls me, I drop everything because it's important to me.
No worries.
You already did the social. You were doing.
Yep. Any final words first, Kilt?
Oh my God, WWE! Please push these women more.
There we go.
Please write them better stories. Get them more time to work on their stuff before you throw them into a PLE and expect them to do this level of excellence. They'll do it anyways because that's how good they are. But damn, I love every single one of these women that were performing last night. They were phenomenal. They took everything to the 9s, if not the 10s and the 11s. And they outperformed categorically than all their male counterparts. They over-delivered, they overperformed, and I think that they deserve the best recognition ever. And I will say this probably for the rest of the year. This is my favorite PLE of the year, and this is going to be my personal favorite. The Io Sky Rhea Ripley match was my personal favorite of the year.
Cool. Alrighty. So with that, I'm gonna be super naughty, and I'm gonna say, hey, Kilt.
Yes,
let's
dear.
get out of here.
Let's get out of here, Johnny TV style. Sebastian! You're in the shot, you bald idiot! You fool! The other way! Go!
Me tiene loco en la cabeza cuando me tocas. Siento que todo está bien.